Tonight on Fox 10 Investigates, healthcare in Arizona's prison system is on the verge of a massive overhaul.
After a years-long legal battle between the ACLU and the state's Departments of Corrections, a federal judge has had enough. The court is close to appointing an independent receiver to fix what it calls systemic constitutional failures. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum takes a deep dive into this scathing order and exactly how this rare takeover of inmate healthcare will work.
Sarah Harbeke served 4 years at the Perryville Women's Prison for various crimes, including drug violations, shoplifting, and forgery. Since her release in 2021, she has completely changed her life for the better. She's wearing orange to recognize those who remain incarcerated. But while she takes accountability for her past, she says the state needs to be held accountable for how health care was handled on the inside.
Take some Tylenol or ibuprofen, drink some water, and go walk the track. That was the most typical responses from medical.
Executive Director of Middle Ground Prison Reform, Donna Ham, agrees that when inmates report symptoms, oftentimes they are not evaluated correctly.
They don't get those tests. They get Tylenol. And then you end up down the road with someone with stage 3 or stage 4 cancer.
In February, federal Judge Roslyn Silver handed down a scathing 83-page order. She wrote that while appointing a receiver is an extraordinary measure, after 14 years of Eighth Amendment violations within Arizona's prison healthcare system, she had no choice but to strip control away from ADCRR.
That is a rare order, and it's rare because it's a last-ditch effort, and that's where we are with the Department of Corrections under the current director.
On May 16th, Harbeke was a witness to a suicide response. She was visiting a friend at Perryville Prison in Goodyear and says she watched medical staff run through the yard, only to be slowed down by a locked gate and plastic chairs blocking the walkway that ultimately leads to the Santa Cruz housing unit.
And those chairs were set up, the nursing staff tripped over them, and by the time he realized that the gate was locked when he got there, he screamed, "Why the are these gates locked?" And medical was hindered because DOC staff was taking their time fixing chairs and getting to the gates to unlock it.
That day, 34-year-old Crystal Walker died after hanging herself in her cell. A spokesperson for ADCRR says staff immediately responded and conducted life-saving measures until paramedics arrived. Walker had been in custody since November 2025 on drug convictions. I asked the agency if she had a known history of self-harm or mental illness, but a spokesperson could not comment further as Walker's death remains under investigation by the department. Harbeke tells me that according to other inmates, Walker went to the chaplain's office that same day to talk to someone, but no one was available.
It's a frightening zoo to go into because of the way that the department is just unskilled. They don't really have the training or the expertise to deal with people who are mentally ill. And of course, that ends up being to the detriment of someone who, in particular cases like this, has suicidal ideation and is going to follow through with it.
Judge Silver's order highlighted 8 deaths that court-appointed monitors called preventable. They say the incidents were likely avoidable if ADCRR had complied with a permanent injunction to increase salaries and fix critical medical staffing shortages. Court records outline the alleged egregious failures, among them a 48-year-old man whose metastatic lung and brain cancer was misdiagnosed as depression.
Just getting diagnosed with a problem is an uphill battle for people because they're reporting symptoms and they're being ignored or downplayed. And finally, when they ultimately get a diagnosis, it's often an advanced stage of cancer or something that could have been prevented or easily dealt with a lot sooner.
A 35-year-old man who complained of a cough was seen by a nurse and had low oxygen levels. Instead of getting tested, he was given over-the-counter medication. Days later, he was found almost gray and died of severe pneumonia due to a 9-day delay in care. And a 78-year-old man died after a prolonged seizure. Court documents show the facility's medical director abruptly cut off his anti-seizure medication without ever reviewing his medical history of having seizures.
Well, unfortunately, these are not anecdotal examples. These are representative of the profound failures in the healthcare system.
Corinne Kendrick is one of the attorneys battling the Department of Corrections in court. She serves as deputy director of the ACLU's National Prison Project.
It's a pretty rarely done step in litigation, and courts only do it when they're dealing with a defendant who just refuses to abide by the court's past orders.
Judge Silver criticized the state's leadership for playing a game of accountability hot potato by deflecting responsibility to NAFCare, the private healthcare vendor contracted to treat inmates. By the end of 2024, 100 contracted positions had not been filled. But Silver says ADCRR appeared to want praise for only having 100 vacancies. Just months before that, a court monitor's investigation into a cluster of suicides revealed major deficiencies in mental health care delivery.
I feel like if you're a ward of the state and you are in a facility where security is prioritized, you should never have the opportunity to be able to commit suicide.
Harbeke points to a friend she met during her time at Perryville Prison. Tracy Otero died by apparent suicide in September of 2020. Harbeke says she explicitly remembers Otero begging for treatment before her death.
She also was having issues with medical staff. She had complained about her pain. She was in severe pain. The medical provider at the time told her that she was just a drug addict.
Judge Silver has nominated Annette Chambers-Smith to take over the prison healthcare system as the receiver. Both the ACLU and the state support the pick. She was ADCRR's lone candidate. Once official, Chambers-Smith will have the authority to renegotiate contracts and implement permanent policy changes.
My name's Annette Chambers-Smith.
Chambers-Smith recently stepped down as director of Ohio's Department of Rehabilitation and Correction. Arizona's Department of Corrections noted her work to resolve a 2003 federal class action lawsuit regarding correctional health care in Ohio, reaching a 5-year settlement, implementing major reforms in medical staffing, training, and chronic care.
What they said was that she is very savvy, very smart, and turned around a broken healthcare system in the Ohio prison system.
We asked ADCRR if Director Ryan Thornell wanted to speak about the incoming receivership. No response yet. Harbeke is hopeful for real change and improvement so that those serving time can get their constitutional right to adequate health care.
Just because you are locked in a prison with an ADC number doesn't mean you're not a human being.
I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.
The ACLU is now asking the court to fast-track Chambers-Smith appointment, and the goal is to get her to the right into jumping into negotiations for the prison system's 2027 fiscal year budget, which will be approved by June 30th.